Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Good Morning Hebrew Home. I am your host for Friday, Liisa Murray. Today is Friday, January 15th. The weather today is mostly cloudy, a high of 45, with an 81% chance of showers this evening. So watch out. It's not as cold as it has been, but going to be a little rainy tonight. On this day in history. So I thought I'd start out with this one. I thought this was kind of a funny, interesting one, so you can let me know what you think. January 15th, 1797, terrifying top hat causes sensation. Fred Astaire hardly ever seems to be without one, and for men it seems to be the essential item of apparel at every formal occasion. From weddings to presidential inaugurations, it's the top hat. And the man who gave it a head start into fame and fashion was haberdasher John Hetherington, who, on this day in 1797, appeared in court after he had stepped out onto the streets of London wearing the distinctive headgear. It caused a sensation, so much so that a crowd formed and Hetherington was eventually arrested and given a summons for disturbing the public peace. Can you imagine? For a top hat. In court, found guilty of wearing a hat calculated to frighten timid people. He was bound over to keep the peace in a consideration of a sum of £50. The arresting officer told the court that nobody had seen anything like it before. He had such a tall and shiny construction on his head that it must have terrified nervous people. The sight of this construction was so overstated that various women fainted, children began to cry, and dogs started to bark. One child broke his arm among all the jostling. The next day, the Times newspaper reported, Hetherington's hat points to a significant advance in the transformation of dress. Sooner or later, everyone will accept this headwear. We believe that both the court and the police have made a mistake here. The newspaper was, of course, right. The top hat, which went by several names, including toppers, chimney pots, and stovepipes, grew in popularity, finally achieving the ultimate stamp of respectability in 1850 when Prince Albert, no less, began to wear one, giving the headgear the royal seal of approval. There was no going back after that. I thought that was so interesting. The top hat seems to us, it's a hat, but it was caused quite a stir when it first came out. Moving a little bit forward, in 1895, Tchaikovsky's ballet Swan Lake premieres in St. Petersburg. In 1939, the first NFL All-Star game in Wrigley Field, Chicago, the New York Giants beat the All-America All-Stars 13-10. In 1942, U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt sends his famed green light letter to MLB Commissioner Judge Landis, encouraging baseball to continue playing during World War II. And in my mind, that is When A League of Their Own begins, my favorite movie. I hope many of you have watched it. In 1961, Berry Gordy signs the Supremes with Motown Records. In 1973, Pope Paul VI holds an audience with Golda Meir at the Vatican. In 1975, iconic ride Space Mountain opens at Disneyland. And also in 1975, pioneering female comedian Phyllis Diller gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Turning to famous birthdays, today in 1947, Andrea Martin, American comedian known for SCTV, Club Paradise, among many, many others, born in Portland, Maine. In 1951, Charo, the Spanish-American actress, comedian, and flamenco guitarist, known for Chico and the Man and Love Boat, was born in Spain. And of course, though we are celebrating on Monday, today in 1929, Martin Luther King Jr., American clergyman and leader of the Civil Rights Movement, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, was born in Atlanta, Georgia. So, turning to birthdays a little closer to home and a little more recent, perhaps. In staff birthdays today, happy birthday to Sade and Donna from nursing and Anna from housekeeping. On Saturday, happy birthday to Tanya, Aurora, and Marina from nursing, Kalisha from nursing, Stalin from the clinic, and Soraya from home health. In resident birthdays, happy birthday today to Ralph C., tomorrow to Beverly P., and Sunday, happy birthday, Nils. So let's get into the meals. We've got a lot of meals to look forward to. So today's lunch is pepperoni pizza with Caesar salad and peaches for dessert. That sounds pretty solid. Sounds pretty good. Dinner tonight, the soup is country vegetable, and the entree is brisket beef with potato pancakes and chocolate cake for dessert. I mean, chocolate cake, you can't go wrong. On Saturday, the lunch will be beer-battered baked fish with sweet potato and parsley cauliflower with marble pound cake for dessert. For dinner, cream of broccoli soup, California vegetable sandwich with potato chips and strawberry ice cream. And for Sunday, the lunch will be southern fried chicken, seasoned diced potatoes, and collard greens with fudge supreme cookies for dessert. And for dinner will be stracciatella soup with broiled salmon, orzo with mushrooms, and fruit cocktail for dessert. So that's what we've got to look forward to in terms of meals. One thing I wanted to do before we get to our positive news story. Last week, I hope you were able to see, we had a great episode with one of our art therapists here, Michaela Voller, and we did a little art making. You remember we used some of those droppers to put paint on some of our circles or mandalas, and I wanted to show you the finished product. So this is my finished mandala. So thank you. Allison's clapping for me behind the camera, silently but powerfully. Michaela made hers into a snowflake, but I just love the colors of this so much that I wanted to leave it the way it is. It feels very like oceanic to me, very like tie-dye. I've been very into tie-dye recently. So this is just one of the cool art things we can do still. So going on to our positive news story for the day. So this news story, when I saw it, I said, I have to read about this one. As a baker, very close to my heart. So Seattle home bakers donate over 1,300 loaves of bread to a local food bank. More people are cooking at home than ever during the pandemic, and in Seattle, more than 500 home bakers are taking an extra step to give back to their community. Led by college administrator and avid baker Catherine Kellery, Community Loaves has been on a mission to donate home-baked bread to a local food bank. Kellery, who uses her home as a staging area for the ambitious project, told the Today Show, which is where I got this article's Dylan Dreyer, that the effort has grown from a small initial donation to the delivery of over 1,300 loaves of bread. Can you imagine? So many loaves. Bread's been along for a long time, Kellery said. It's 4 simple ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. But it's been around for thousands of years, and each time someone discovers it for the first time, it's like magic. Kellery and other members of the group have developed a simple formula for honey oat loaf bread, which uses locally sourced flour. Each batch of the recipe makes 4 loaves of bread. Volunteers are encouraged to donate 3 loaves and keep one in what Kellery calls an effort to thank them for their time while also paying it forward. I think that's so lovely. When I make loaves of bread, a lot of my recipes are for more than one loaf, and I can't, I'm one person. I can only eat so much bread. So I love to share bread, and I think that this is a really wonderful way of taking that idea and really paying it forward on a large level. The loaves are donated by the Carful to HopeLink, an area food bank that has reported surging demand during the pandemic. When I think of my childhood, my Baba, my grandma used to make the best homemade bread, Matthew Campbell, the Associate Director of Food Programs at HopeLink, told Dylan. That reminds me of this. You can see smiles through masks. You still can. You can see the eyes go up. With 600, 700 loaves of bread, now that's 600, 700 smiles. Sarah Ganholm, a home baker involved in the effort, said that in addition to helping out her community, the project has given her a new opportunity to bond with her father. I haven't been able to see my dad for several months, so I got this idea that I would get my dad to buy a KitchenAid mixer and buy some bread pans, Ganholm told Dylan. He's not a baker. He's never made anything but chocolate chip cookies in his oven or a turkey. It just seemed like a natural thing for us to get on Zoom and do this together. And all of a sudden, he's giving back to the community in a way that he's never done in his life. Carolee, who also didn't start baking until late in her life, said that the project gave her a moment of connection with her grandmother, Ruth, before she passed away in August at the age of 105. Some group members said that the undertaking has allowed them to connect with family while helping their community. I have to say that my baking has also helped me connect with my family, both in I've been making some of my auntie's old recipes, and my aunt has also started doing sourdough. So now she and I get to compare recipes, talk about what we're making, and it's really such a wonderful way to connect with family, even though I haven't been able to see her for quite some time. When I visited her this summer, this project was going and she wasn't eating very much, but she would eat bread, said Carolee. She loved the bread, and she told me that if the project had existed when she was baking bread, that she would have loved to participate. In November, the Community Loaves group worked to adapt their bread recipe to make thousands of dinner rolls for Thanksgiving. For the winter holidays, they donated nearly 4,000 pecan finger cookies using Carolee's grandmother's recipe. This project has restored my faith in the collective good that we can actually do, Carolee said, and it restores my faith that we can be more self-determined even in the face of the pandemic. What a lovely story, and I think that that's one of the things that we've gotten to highlight here on Good Morning Hebrew Home is that even through these difficult times, people are finding so many ways to reach out and help each other. Well, that's it for today's show. Tune in later today for Catholic services at 11:15 and Shabbat Shalom at 3 p.m. Today's Broadway matinee at 2 p.m. on Channel 88 is Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill. If you're not familiar with this show, it's a dramatization of one of Billie Holiday's last performances, starring the legendary Audra McDonald. I very much recommend you watch this one. Tune in. If you missed any portion of today's show, it will be replayed on Channel 88 at 6:30, and you can find all of our episodes on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We will see you on Monday, same time, same place, same channel.